let's talk about the G. Are greens an appetite suppressant, I guess I'll say? Do they make you feel full? Would you deem greens in this category of necessary for reaching your ideal weight or, yeah,
Yes,
perfect weight
because
loss food?
the G bombs in particular are the most powerful foods against cancer. One of the reasons they fight cancer development is because they're powerful anti-angiogenic foods.
Mm-hmm.
And the word angiogenic means the growth of new blood vessels. So tumor cells that replicate and grow need to have blood vessels sprout to feed the replicating cells with more blood and nutrients and sugar. Without nutrients and blood, they can't grow. They're dead. They're living tissue. Fat cells can't grow without new blood vessels. So the same foods that don't allow tumors to grow don't allow fat to grow in your body. So the anti-angiogenic food have anti-fat storage effects. Now, the foods that have the high caloric rush, and especially animal protein, because it has a high IGF-1, IGF-1 response. So the high IGF-1 with the high insulin, create a favorable environment for growth. They're growth-promoting hormones. And growth-promoting hormones work by promoting angiogenesis.
So you're saying growth-promoting hormones fuel angiogenesis?
Yes.
And then these other foods that are good are anti-angiogenic.
Anti-angiogenic.
Right.
So the anti-angiogenic foods accelerate fat loss and prevent fat deposition on the body because you can't grow fat in an anti-angiogenic environment. So I always say, mushrooms are the most powerful. Mushrooms say, no way, Jose, you're not going to put fat on your body.
Really?
And they say, no way, Jose, you're not going to get cancer. And that's why I say mushrooms are bilingual. No way, Jose, they're bilingual.
I didn't know. Very good.
Okay.
I didn't know that you were putting mushrooms in this category. I mean, I feel like mushrooms are acclaimed for being super immunity foods, superfoods, anti-cancer, but I didn't know you're actually saying they help us keep our ideal weight.
Right. One of the reasons why they're so powerful anti-cancer effects is because mushrooms lower hormones. They lower angiogenesis promoting hormones, insulin, IGF-1, estrogen, anti-estrogenic effects, and they themselves are anti-angiogenic. So they set the body up hormonally for better health, not just immune system building.
Right.
Yes, they have
that reputation.
They build immune system too.
Yeah.
But they make the body hormonally favorable and less favorable for fat growth and tumor growth.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the greens, we got the mushrooms, we got the beans, nuts and seeds. I feel like you're going to say are on this recipe.
Yes. All these things are. We discussed nuts and seeds give you the necessary fat for absorption of phytochemicals without throwing a caloric rush of oil into the bloodstream. You know what people say? They say, oh, yeah, well, eating fat makes you fat and eating fat makes your glucose go higher. That's distortion. It's not really accurate. Yes, putting fat in your bloodstream at a high rate makes you not absorb and disturbs the insulin uptake and makes you the glycemic response to food poor. Higher glucose in the blood because you had fat in the bloodstream. But that's from oil or animal fats. Nuts and seeds don't put much fat in the bloodstream. They absorb too slowly.
Right. So what I'm hearing, you're really calling out the foods that are slow foods. And you're saying the dangerous foods or the foods that will help you increase fat storage on the body are these fast foods.
Right. And also fat storage itself makes you insulin resistant. So when you have fat on the body, it makes the body produce more insulin, which is more pro-angiogenic and much more fat. So the higher insulin, which then makes you gain more weight from being overweight. You got to so that's where the diabetic drugs to lower blood sugar, by adding more insulin or making the beta cells that make insulin make more insulin, the drugs make the beta cells make more insulin. That makes the person get heavier. That makes them become more diabetic. It creates the medical profession, the drugs used to fight diabetes, creates a whole vicious cycle makes it more easier to gain weight. Whereas Ozempic and those GPTL or whatever the one inhibitors, at least don't make you gain weight. And metformin doesn't make you gain weight. So some diabetic drugs don't. But the other diabetic drugs like the glucosinurias, the Avandia and Glyburide and Glipizide and insulin, a lot of those drugs, Actos, do make you gain weight and become more diabetic the more you use them.
So Ozempic was originally created to combat diabetes, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Wild. So they were able to create one that doesn't make you gain weight.
It doesn't make you gain weight. It's a better drug for diabetes.
Right. Oh, interesting.
But still not as good for diabetes. It's just following this diet, which knocks out diabetes in a month.
With no medications necessary. Yeah. I love when I hear people so shocked that they got off all their medications. That's
It's kind of amazing. Like, I'm even shocked every month. Because like this month, as you know, well, actually last month in September, a guy comes in on 80 units of insulin a day. 80 units a day. In 4 days, he's not diabetic anymore.
It's crazy.
I cut him back to 20 units from 80 the first day. The next thing was blood sugar 75. He thought I had to wake up in the morning and take something to eat because he thought his blood sugar went too low. I went from 80 to 20. But then I told him to stop all insulin on day 2. The next day he wakes up with a blood sugar of 90, and the next day his blood sugar is 75 on no insulin.
Oh my gosh.
He becomes non-diabetic in 4 days.